A minor variation by Not Murphy. Chapter 2. For Want of a Shoe.
I can't do this. I can't do this.
Fluttershy looked at the practice range, where a handful of fillies and colts milled around, waiting for something to happen.
I didn't agree to this. I'll tell Rainbow to feel soft. She'll be reasonable. She won't be angry. She probably won't exit that. No, she'll have that look that says, I feel like you let me go down, but I can't go out. Hey, Fluttershy!
The gray Pegasus watched Fluttershy rocket into the air.
Wow, you can really jump high. Are you here for practice? Hello, Ditsy.
Derpy.
Huh? Are you sure you want me to use? Can you be called what you want, but that means it's problem?
The blonde Pegasus grinned as her eyes slid askew.
Never mind.
Reaching down, Derpy helped turn the yellow Pegasus upright and dusted the clinging bits of cloud off.
Boa Constrictor will be here any minute.
Fluttershy surrendered to the inevitable, eyeing her peer group. A sinking feeling developed. A stocky white colt with wings smaller than a newborn's flakes had snorted. An adult brown stallion desperately tried to avoid notice. A gray-green filly with silver-blue mane scratched absently at the large paper cone around her neck as she turned her head back and forth to make up for her lack of peripheral vision. A tan filly, obviously several years younger than the rest of the group, flexed a pair of wings sized for an adult Pegasus, and a dark gray colt with a yellow-green mane who was, Fluttershy's mind spasmed, trying to find a nice way to phrase fat before giving up in defeat.
Okay, before I thought I couldn't do this. Now I know I can't.
Turning to flee, Fluttershy bumped into a mass of white fur. Backing up, she saw a snow-white hare with an electric blue mane and tail. Her Cutie Mark, a blue-lined picture of a pony sitting in a chair with wheels. Hello, every pony! Welcome to a mega flight! Let's get a few things straight here! Fluttershy was unable to move. This is not a rejects class! This is not an obstacle event! You will learn to fly to the best of your abilities! You will discover your abilities are greater than you believe right now! Failure is not an option! The mare flexed her wings. Something was wrong with them. Also, I am not just your instructor! I am a graduate of this program, and the name is definitely Abel! Smooth white wings played out gracefully, upside down. Questions? The practice field was silent. In Fluttershy's peripheral vision, she saw Derpy, accidentally, put her hoof into the white colt's mouth. Alright, clockwise circle! Introduce yourself by name and tell me what you're here to master! Her hoof swinged upon as a pawn over gray Pegasus, wiping a hoof on the clouds. Derpy threw a salute.
Derpy-doo! I'm here because I have a lazy eye and Terragon spin gnome.
The white colt pounded the cloud in front of him.
Snowflake horsepower! I'm here because I got tiny wings! Now, how do I get on this horse up elephant?
Aha! Yes! Introductions. What's that? I'm Time Eterna. I have never used my wings before. The brown stallion with the dark brown mane looked as uncomfortable as Fluttershy felt. The blue over green filly swung her limited gaze to the assembled ponies as he boomed out, My name is Seafoam, and there's something terribly wrong. I'm supposed to be learning to swim. I don't even know what I'm standing on. My name is Dorothy Gale, and if it's okay with you, I just want to go home. Fluttershy's arc hate for the roan-maned tan filly, obviously out of her depth.
Thundercloud, and this is Doom.
The dark gray colt grumbled without making eye contact. Then, silence.
Psst, Sigh, it's your turn.
Derpy's subtle voice could be heard at the far end of the track.
Eep, my name is Fluttershy.
She squeaked. Abel leaned forward. Didn't quite catch that!
My name is Fluttershy.
She wished the ground would just swallow her, until she remembered where she was, how high up she was. Abel's brow furrowed. We're not going anywhere until we do this correctly!
Hey, Debay, and me is Fluttershy.
Derpy looked upset, which made Fluttershy feel worse.
Can I do anything without causing trouble for my friends?
I was talking to Fluttershy, Miss Stu! Abel turned her attention back to the melting butter Pegasus. Now, what are you here to do? The mare tried to modulate her voice, but irritation was still evident.
I'm here because I can't fly well.
Snowflake looked like he wanted to cry.
Huh?
Well, I can hear you now, at least. But you are all wrong. I asked what you are here to master, and what you are all here to master is flight. If we can help master yourselves along the way, great. Oh, and Mr. Horsepower, if you swear in my class again, you will spend your time cleaning the fields. Do I make myself clear?
Satisfied that Snowflake was cowed, the teacher continued.
You are not here because someone considers you weak, malformed, broken, or useless. From now on, you are to report to my son's treatment to me, and I will see that it is dealt with. I expect each and every one of my little ponies to become protective members of society. Is that clear?
When she received no response, the mayor leaned forward and raised her voice.
I said, is that clear?
A belated chorus of yes,
nothing is, and yeah!
seemed to satisfy her.
Okay, now, before we proceed, fair is fair. You all shared your own individualities, so I will give you mine. Before I was born, my mother had an unfortunate run-in with a plant known as poison junk, and suffered a severe allergic reaction. Unfortunately, it wasn't discovered that the poison was transferred through her bloodstream to me until it was too late. There is an herbal remedy for normal cases, but developmental poison junk is no treatment. Not only can I fly, but I am entrusted to stress foals on how to fly. If I can do it with backwards turned wings, each and every one of you will be able to learn to fly. I promise you. Now, we're going to start with stretches. You will follow my instructions. Do not, I repeat, do not try to copy my movements.
This is so strange.
Fluttershy was confused enough that she forgot she wanted to leave. That continued to happen on a daily basis, until Omega Flight became part of her routine. At least, until the storm. Pinkamena dying pie. Are you honestly going to stand there and betray everything your family stands for because you are tired of looking at rocks? The Pie Family matriarch spoke in a quiet, precise, civil tone of voice that disguised none of her discontent.
Mother, I do not wish you. I do not dislike rocks, but I feel a need for something more.
Hiding behind her limp hair had little to no effect, but hiding behind the furniture would have made her mother angrier. So Pinkamena took what shelter she could.
Dear, I don't think we should.
Her father reached a tentative hoof outward. Tor loyalties etched in his face. Clyde, do not question me on this. Despite her words, the mayor softened her tone as she turned back to her middle daughter. Pinkamena, will you not see reason? We are ponies of the earth. The earth of Celestia provides us everything we need, but we must work to earn that bounty.
I must speak my heart. I must. Nay, mother, I will not see reason, but it is not reason that drives me to speak so. It's my heart. My heart aches. Is there not something, anything I could do to see more of the world? I do not seek to be a burden, and would honor my family as best as I can. But if I continue as I am, I fear something I cannot even name will wither and die, and what will be left of me will be rotten inside.
A mother's heart ached for her foal, her precious pink pony. Pies are not given to hyperbole, but I would never harm any of my children, even by inaction. Perhaps the healer, Miss Posey, has been looking for an apprentice. I shall approach her at the gathering on Sunday, and see what that may be. You may go and dry your eyes now. She sighed as her daughter fled the room. She turned to the stallion, legs bent as though shouldering a great weight. Husband, give me your thoughts on this. Am I too harsh?
Wife, I understand it's a mother's right and responsibility to rule her household. I will do a stallion's duty and carry out your decisions as a good husband must. But I admit gratitude that you have bent on this issue. Pinkamena has always been too bright for our calm world. Surely she must be meant for greater things.
We all serve Celestia according to our abilities, though I feel sorely taxed as of now.
I suspect your mother approves. I know no pony could ask for more.
My mother was the next thing to a saint. A misfile graced the mayor's lips. After all, she put up with my sister, my brothers, and myself without braining a single one of us.
Okay, put the loudspeaker over there. Easy now.
It wasn't the weight that was a problem. It was the tension. Holding it just so, that made Applejack's legs wobble. It was still better than being under an examination disguised as dinner. It had never occurred to the orange pony that there could be different kinds of parties in Manhattan. Sure, back on the farm, there had been dances, reunions, sing-dings, and yearly celebrations. But even 2 weeks ago, she wouldn't have known what a club scene was, and a wub would have been baby talk to her. A white unicorn watched her with intense concern, sighing in relief as Applejack carefully set the huge speaker down on the red-tape decks.
Are you sure you have everything to your liking? Perhaps you could rearrange everything a third time.
The gray earth pony's ironic tone seemed to escape the unicorn's nose entirely.
Nope, this is going to be perfect. Oh, thanks again for helping out, Jackie.
That, too, was a nickname. Seems like everywhere I go I have another name. Applejack, Abigail, now Jackie. It had started a week ago. The trip to Pony Island was a revelation. Not that any of the attractions there were anything she could have found at a country fair or social, but just the idea that the city consisted more of high society. That there was in fact a low society for it to be compared to. The contrast made it easier to accept the whole, especially once she found out that some of the upper crust, in fact, indulged in what they called slumming. She definitely liked their term, but it meant she could get away without slipping off to Harlem or the East Village without scandalizing her aunt and uncle. It also didn't hurt that she was coming into her last growth spurt, and could pass for older than she was. That bothered her a little bit. But if ponies sit and ask, it didn't seem like she was obligated to tell them her mistake. The dancing and laughter were a great release from being squeezed, a cramped sensation that refined parties left her with. Meaning Cuddy said Woody Apple had been good too. Auntie and Uncle seemed to be indulgently tolerant of him. He would ramble most of the time, but he had a dry, witty sense of humor, and seemed to come up with jokes off the hoof that would leave her rolling off the floor of laughter. The biggest thing, though, had been meeting the musicians. The two of them were students at the Manhattan School of Performing Arts. They played at local clubs to try and offset their student loans. The meeting had been an accident, really. Half deaf after a performance, Jackie stumbled out into the concession area and had seen a frustrated white unicorn with a straight blue mane wrestling a vending machine and invoking Celestia's wrath on it. The only thing to do was to walk over and give the machine a buck to show who it was in charge. She hadn't even expected a thank you. You learn not to expect politeness from Manhattanites.
Tell me about it.
Much less that she had expected to be clumped by a teary unicorn. Wild Scratch didn't do what was expected of a unicorn. That much Jackie learned quick. She was introduced to Octavia Strings,
Melody!
the roadies for their experimental band, Vinyl Octavia Overdrive. Octavia was quiet and refined, respectful, and pretty nice once you realized how tight a lid she kept on all her responses. Vinyl was wild, unrestrained, expressive, and far more considerate than those characteristics would lead Applejack to expect. When one of her normal crew, also members of the Phi Nu Iota fraternity, called out for an important performance, Applejack found herself volunteering to help them move their gear. Well, Vinyl's gear, really. Octavia brought little more than her viola, and no pony touched her instruments but her. Well, it was obvious that Vinyl must have had something to do with electrifying the instrument, but Octavia was very protective of it. Although a lifetime could be spent studying the main precepts, the art of pony war has 4 important things to say about going to war, other than the central rule. Only go to war if you think you'll win. Step 1. Keep to the offensive.
How can you do this to me?
Young lady, you will not take that tone with your parents. Step 2. Divide and conquer.
Dad, you said you thought I could handle it.
Your mother and I have talked it over, and we made a completely mutual decision that a filly your age cannot travel to Zabryka, even with supervising adults. There's no way our precious baby is going to be thrown into a wild jungle thousands of miles away with our approval. Yeah, besides that, Twilight as a Camelot guard is not in this universe. That's Snowblind. And if you people want me to read it, please raise your hands. And besides, who wants to go to Sabrina anyway? I heard they like mega spells. Step 3. Divert the opponent from their source of strength. Oh, Sunhoof, don't fail me now.
This is my life, and I want to make differences in ponies' lives, even the art pony.
All sentient species deserve love and tolerance. That doesn't mean that ponies living in your own country deserve consideration. You seem to forget that we're letting you do this volunteer program at all because you agreed to abide by our decisions. The gray and purple of her mother's mane was swaying ever so slightly, revealing her subconscious shaking of her head.
Retreat! Retreat!
Young filly, this opening at Sweet Apple Acres is perfect. You'll remain far enough away that you can feel like you are making a break from school and us. But you'll be helping an important historical landmark remain in the Universal Founders family, learning horticulture and local history. Most importantly, your father will be a nervous wreck all the time.
But...
And lastly, oh no! Mrs. Sabaika is part of the Pony Corps, not the Canterlot Civilian Conservation Corps that we agreed to let you apply for. Her mother's glower was ruined by her attempts, smothered degree in her pride and her stubborn daughter brought on. Step 4. When all else fails and the battle is hopeless, surrender to an honorable enemy. Stubborn defiance is foolish and a waste in the face of mercy. She sighed. Okay, you win. I'll go to Apple Arches or whatever. There's just nothing in Ponyville, and I'm pretty sure nothing will ever happen there. First, you have to grow a little before you go risking your life. Her parents pulled Twilight into a hug. And we want you to know how proud we are of you, sweetie. A month ago, you would have fought hoof and horn against being dragged out of your bed an hour early.
This is something I feel I have to do. Somewhere out there is whatever I didn't find before. I was so sure.
Keep it together, Twilight. You tried and failed. A sane pony tries something new, and you are a sane pony, aren't you? Even if you're talking to yourself. Shut up! Keep it together. Right, I'll do this. Her parents realized visibly as she pulled herself out of her funk. Well, guess I'll go see what the library has on arboriculture. Some things never change. Rarity loved her parents. Really. There might be a list a mile long of things they did, or said, or didn't do, or didn't say correctly. But that was all fussing. Truth was, only someone truly close to you can inspire the kind of agonized frustration she was feeling at the moment.
Father, please put that down. It's, well, I'm not sure what it is, but I know it's priceless. The historical value is...
Yes. She must love these people who were doing their best to embarrass her so utterly. Worst part was that the Marrisons seemed to be taken with them. Her father was adamantly discussing the local hoofball prospects with Mr. Radcliffe, while Mrs. Amelia was discussing the finer points of childproofing with Rarity's mother, and laughing at stories about Sweetie, her new little sister, the only family not to betray Rarity yet. In all, it was probably for the best that her parents had been able to make it to Canterlot so soon.
If I had any time to really get established here, I suppose I'd be heartbroken every returning to Ponyville, instead of simply disappointed.
Yeah, well, we knew from a pretty young age that little rare hair was rare. She's got this natural grace and a eye for detail, let me tell you.
Well, it wasn't so bad to have her family here. Well, I must compliment your child rearing skills. She has been no trouble at all while we were trying to find you. It is simply fortuitous that your husband's co-worker remembered you at camping in Whitetail Woods. Getting out camping had been a minor achievement in itself. Her contribution to the play had been instrumental in...
The school play! I completely forgot about it. What happened? Were they able to carry on without those dreadful costumes I set together?
Rarity realized her legacy might be at risk.
Oh, yeah. I heard he did a pretty good job. Costumes were good, easy to move in, and they didn't try too much for the little fees it comes from sharing the legs.
That was her father, Master Woodsmith.
Ah, what was the production?
Oh, I think it was called Hijinks and Sue or something. It was a local St. Oaks elementary school that didn't have a fancy theatrical department.
Oh, that was an understatement. The glance the architectural couple gave each other was unreadable.
Mr. and Mrs. Bell, as I stated earlier,
We were quite impressed with your daughter, and in fact, since we knew you would at least need a few days to manage the trip here, which the two of you paid for, I don't think I didn't notice. And during that time, we, offered her a chance to help us out with cataloging the results of our last dig. So sorry, we are convinced that she has a great deal of potential. Interesting. What are they having a hard time saying? Well, that is saying, no disrespect to Celestia's excellent public education system, which we are outspoken champions of, but we feel that Rarity might benefit from access to higher education. Come again? The Bells looked at each other uneasily. Well, now, that's really nice of you to say, but we don't make it so much a bitch, you know. Of course, we want the best for our daughter, but... Mr. Hoofbody, I do believe I forgot to mention the scholarship. What? What? Is there an echo on in here? Well, obviously, this is a rather large decision for you to have to consider on such noise. Feel free to stay to consider it for a few days. Fella, you and your friend there are crazy.
Oh, please, Father, don't ruin...
But I think it's kind of crazy and equestrian needs. Frankly, I kind of thought all your upper-grown folk were going to be all stuffy and snooty.
Oh, dear sweet Celestia, she thought it so badly Ratcliffe has fallen over.
Mission, stop laughing. You're all so dirty, disrespectfully. The large stallion was rolling on the floor, tears of laughter rolling down his cheeks. Amelia turned to the Bells, her cheeks red.
Yeah, I can't say you are far wrong about a great many of our policies. What makes the difference is our interests lie outside the plus homes and colonies of upper crust, as you put it. Quite frankly, I could tell a number of opponents who could use a good kick at the flank. By Celestia's beard, I do think I enjoy your company far more than any Duke of Barris' name, aside to even start of the Hart family. That ghastly beast of a child they're raising. She'll be the most tolerable of them all if they don't miss my mark. The stallion sobriety returned, held by the glare of death by his companion. Well, this is all professional, mind you, but this seems that we have to plumb local not to hear you out. What else do you have in mind?
Rarity often forgot her mother was in fact quite savvy when it came to negotiations. Never heard anyone else quite haggle like her mother.
Excellent! Have you ever heard of Celestia's school for gifted unicorns by any chance?
It was too much. Rarity didn't even realize he had fainted until she hit the floor.
Oof! Next time, find the couch.
Rainbow Danger Dash!
Well, that's not a good sign.
Just what in the hayflies do you think you're trying to pull?
Thunder Dash was outspoken, outstanding in the weather guard, and outraged.
That's like 3 strikes in 1.
Right now, not a whole lot. I'm still in recovery. Dash flexed your healing wing to emphasize the ace bandages adoring them.
You know that was a metaphor, Rainbow.
And that was her mother. Technically accurate, but missing the point. I met who now? It was dumb bait, dumb. But Dash had a lot of anger. She had no way to diffuse for too long now.
Young filly, you better start taking this conversation seriously.
Old girl, you better start taking me seriously.
Oh yeah?
Yeah!
Thunder abruptly sat down with a satisfied nod. All right, impress me. I see you haven't lost all your spirit.
So why on clouds are you trying to drop all your advanced flight classes for design?
Well, this is new. Not to change the moods. Rainbow's father had always been like that. Abrupt, intense, and respectful of strong will. Well, you heard about the race, right? And obviously you know well, the roller can't tell me exactly what happened. But I got hurt enough so I couldn't fly. Couldn't get out of bed for a month. A sympathetic shudder went through both their parents. Well, what you probably don't know is why I crashed, or whatever. See, the race happened because these 3 meatheads were picking on Fluttershy. But when the race started, she got knocked off her cloud and she was too surprised to pull off her fall. It was a lie, but not much of one. And, well, I lost a shoe when one of the colts ran into me.
Thank you, Starlight Glimmer!
Now out of the corner of my eye, I saw the sky flying earthward, so the race is forgotten. But those guys, you know, I got hurt making sure she didn't. And while I was getting better, I had, a lot of time to think. About all sorts of stuff. The one thing that actually led anywhere, besides the pile of guilt I felt. Sorry, Fluttershy, but you can't decide I'm off the hook so easy. Well, I was thinking about that shoe.
about sports gear in general, then on how all kinds of stuff is put together, from saddlebags to the Coliseum. And I think I want to devote my life to making ponies safer in those awesome ways possible. And by what? Designing clothing? Psh, yeah, Rainbow Dash always in style. I can see it now. I'm not talking frou-frou, maybe not even clothing at all. I did some drawing. I did a lot of drawing. There wasn't really anything else to do. Just look at some of it and tell me what you think. This is going to be the hardest part. Making you see what I saw, looking back at my drawings. She got embarrassed and went along, but she started to realize she was really good. For a bed-bound filly with no previous training. But as her feared, her father flipped through the pads she had handed over and shoved them to her mother. He was about to open his mouth again, and the world exploded.